How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a shorter video today, at least hopefully, as I talk about something that is currently going on in the gaming world, and it's kind of like a tale, the tale of two tales, as it were. But first of all, if you are seeing this, I will be today streaming a fundraiser stream over at twitch.tv/ChaosLounge. Link to that is in the description below, where we're going to be trying to raise money for a GoFundMe for a certain someone in my family who has contracted cancer, and I'm just trying to raise some money for them. So we'll be doing the whole playthrough of Spider-Man 2. At least we're going to try to, considering people are saying it's short. So if you are interested in just coming along and supporting or just hanging out, that's where I'll be today for quite a while. Okay, so here we have a post by J Rock. Now he's saying, don't let these hypocrites tell you y'all shouldn't talk about bugs. Excuse me. When they get paid for doing that which they condemn you for. Take note of those that were silent but are vocal with their condemnation now. So basically what he's saying is, and this is absolutely true, because there is a lot of backlash now for people posting bugs. I've seen Digital Foundry come out and say, oh, it's not the game, it's the actual NVMe drive that you're using. We're going to go and do some testing to try and prove this. I don't care what the excuse is. If you are selling me an NVMe drive that is compatible with your drive, I don't give two shits. It needs to work. End of story. You can do all the testing you want. I'm not putting any shade on Digital Foundry, but they are trying to damage control here, and they should be calling this shit out, but they are not. And that is bad. Even with the can situation, where the cans were kind of like a pentagon shape, they were like, oh, I didn't see this. I'm going to have to go back and have a look. But it's probably because of X, Y, Z and blah, 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 blah. None of that ever came into the conversation when Starfield was being criticized. So why is it a big deal now when Spider-Man is being criticized? And for, I mean, some of those bugs that we're seeing are forced upon people, right? I've seen some of them, people are literally trying to force it. But some of them are, like a lot of them are genuine. Not taking fire damage, NPCs being invisible, falling through the floor, being able to just go through areas of the map that you're not supposed to go to. These are really bad bugs, right? And when I say not supposed to, you might be just sitting on a train, sightseeing, and then suddenly you want to see what's on the other end of the tunnel. It's possible, right? At the end of the day, it's this open sandbox. It's there for you to explore. People are saying, don't finish the game in 8 hours because there's a big sandbox there for you to explore. And then you go and explore. Well, if you're going looking for bugs, it doesn't work that way. But at the end of the day, when we're looking at stuff like this, right? And you can see, VG24, Eurogamer, Polygon, Game Rant, all of them were basically, I mean, I've played over 30 hours of Starfield, maybe 40 hours, right? Not much compared to some of you. Admittedly, I'm not finding much time. I've never seen these bugs. I've played it on the Series S, I've played it on the Series X, and I've played it on Xbox. Did anyone come out and say, oh, it might be the hard drive that you're on, it might be the SSD that you're on, it might be this, it might be that? No, they all condemned Starfield. They all shat on it because it was getting them clicks, it was getting them views. But now, because it's Starfield, because it's Spider-Man, and I'm guessing the money bags are coming in, or they've been completely gagged, which is highly possible, they are basically condemning people for calling out bugs. The hypocrisy here is absolutely getting to a point where I reckon people should just stop using these websites. Just leave them in their echo chamber and let them just kind of circle jerk themselves round and round, just jerking off each other in a circle so they can have a big pile of cum in the middle that they can swim through. Because at the end of the day, that is what they want. They're perfectly fine shitting on other games, finding every single thing, magnifying that zoom 700%, because the average person is going to go, screw the average person, anyone is going to actually go with a magnifying glass onto their monitor and start looking at something that is 700 zoom. It's stupid. They do this to incite console wars, and Digital Foundry are #1 at this, right? They are the kings at this. They do a really good job in comparisons, but the amount that they actually go into to try and prove that one looks better than the other at a 1000 zoom is absolutely stupid. It's not necessary in today's day and age. What you want to see is how it looks when you're playing, right? Are the details there? Zooming in 1000%, no one is ever going to do that. What's the need for it? But it gives clout. It gives bragging rights. It says this version is better than that one. When in reality, your eyes will never see the difference. But then we come over here, and all these websites and more, this is just a couple that J-Rock has found, were, pouncing about, cheering that Starfield's bug, range from funny to outright body horror. I've never seen these, and I probably never will. I'm pretty sure some of these were even modded in. I'm actually confident that some of these were modded in. But you're looking at the actual Spiderman one, where people are walking around with two faces. People are missing their heads. You had Miles Morales sitting on his own dick, wagging it around. None of this was ever spoken about. Are you telling me that every single reviewer out there, every single one, did not encounter one single bug? Not one? Absolutely none? That could even be spoken about, that can stop it from getting that 10 out of 10. I mean, the game doesn't need to be bug-free to get 10 out of 10, don't get me wrong. But the reviews I've read, not one is going to talk about a single bug that you've experienced. Not one? Come on. Tell me that the media bias isn't there without telling me that the media bias isn't there. This is a whole pile of coot, and at the end of the day, it's just rubbish, right? It is completely and utterly rubbish. The fact that the media now is coming out in full swing and saying, you shouldn't be saying this, and PlayStation fans are jumping on the bandwagon and going, you lot all should shut up, you don't know what greatness is, and then you've got Miles Morales' head on his own penis. It's a bug, I get it, but show the same energy. If you are okay with everyone shitting on every Xbox game to date that has a bug, then expect people to shit on the one game you have coming out this year that is, well, it is your only game that came out this year that's exclusive, that's going to have bugs, right? If you didn't want that same energy, don't do it. These publications now are actually calling out people and telling them to not criticize Spider-Man. They're basically throwing shade on Xbox fans or other people for actually highlighting the bugs and the issues. And the best one that I have to see from Digital Foundry is the fact that now they're blaming the hard drive that you went and bought that is PlayStation certified to work. They're saying it must be the NVMe drive. Most of these people probably didn't install it on their thing. Well, if the PS5 came out with more than 500 gigs of memory, maybe they would, right? But, buying external storage or additional storage is a must for the PS5. I bought one. You can't not have one. At the end of the day, if it's PlayStation certified, it has to work. The goalposts constantly shifting and saying, oh, it's a user error, not a PlayStation error, is starting to get old and tiresome. Well, that's my rant. At the end of the day, it is what it is. The media will always back Sony. The media will always back PlayStation. But I'm not saying for people to go out there and start being absolutely vile and disgusting and, horrible. Be respectful. Be professional. At the end of the day, you are a human being, right? But if there are problems with something, you call that problem out so the developers can do better next time. Hiding it and sugarcoating it and putting it behind flowers and frilly glitter to make sure that no one will ever notice because you're not talking about it. What we don't talk about is not going to be heard is stupid. Just like you show the same energy by calling stuff out on Xbox, and rightfully so, you should do. If things are bad, you need to call them out. You should do exactly the same when it comes to PlayStation games. Stop taking that PlayStation money, stop taking that PlayStation check, and then hiding every issue behind and saying, right, we're not going to talk about these problems and give it a 10 out of 10 because we got that money, free check. Because that's what it looks like from the outside. If you are being disingenuous, if you are not being honest with your viewers, that is what it looks like on the outside. That's it. People are going to say you are getting paid or you are getting gagged so you can get, and you're following that gagging order so you can get freebies, right? That's where it's at. And that is, unfortunately, why people are having, giving you a lot of stick. So, do not feel like you can't talk about these issues. Just don't do it in a disrespectful way. At the end of the day, developers put a lot of work into these games, be it Starfield, be it Spider-Man 2, Forza, Gran Turismo, Hi-Fi Rush, whatever the game, right? People put a lot of time and effort into these games for their hearts and souls to make it work. And at the end of the day, bugs will be inevitable as games get more complicated. So be respectful, but do highlight what is there so they can go back and fix it. They can go back and, make it better. And even if they can't fix the stuff for this one, maybe they can update their engine to make it better for next time. But what the publications are doing now by actually condemning and criticizing and calling out people for highlighting Spider-Man bugs, that's disgusting. That's disrespectful. And honestly, what people need to do is just completely stop going to these sites, stop giving them their clicks, stop giving them their thing, let them go within their circle jerking echo chamber, jerk each other off constantly around, and when they realize that there's no new exposure coming in, eventually that Sony money will dry out, and then they'll have to start being honest with people. Because right now, they're not. I mean, let me just add this. I've heard, this is just a rumor, so it could be completely bullshit, right? Completely bullshit. But I've heard that IGN US gave Spider-Man an 8 out of 10 because they were scared that the backlash that they would have got from Xbox fans would have been so big if they gave it a 9 or a 10 that they just wasn't prepared to go through that, and therefore they gave it an 8 out of 10. If that is true, what is the point of IGN existing? You tell me. What is the point of IGN existing? Because if that's true, that means none of their reviews can be relied upon. And if they are hiding bugs like these and not reporting them in their reviews, not even making any comment, I mean, can you imagine getting to the final boss and finding the final boss completely invisible? That completely ruins the experience, right? But anyway, that's the video. That's the rant. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to check me out over at twitch.tv/ChaosLounge. We're going to be playing Spider-Man. I am not going to be biased. I am going to give it a fair shot. I am only playing through the storyline. I don't care about the side stuff. I'll probably do that in my own time if I have some time. But for now, I just want to get through the story. And hopefully we can do that in the 10 hours that I'm going to be online, or maybe a little more. Right, that's it. See you next time. Remain legend.